This video is made for adult collectors because itty bitty tiny Devastator. It appears to be the year of Devastator because we got this and we also got this. And they're both really good and very different from one another. And our motto Wheeljack. Two official Devastators in the same year is kinda crazy, but I'm here for it. We got one big one glorious big one, and now we have a much smaller and much more affordable one. Blokees started releasing components of Devastator in like the Galaxy Defender series, and that accumulated it to now with the parts pack that combines all of the tiny vehicles into a massive robot. I say massive robot, it's like a 6 and a bit inches tall. And now it's available in the United States, hoping that they end up shipping to Canada as well. That would be fantastic, please. And there's also all of this. So let's get into all of this. This is Blokees Devastator, and this is Blokees Galaxy Defender Wave 4, and I dropped all of them. And these were sent to me by Blokees. They have a wide range of items on their website, like a lot of different types of Transformers spanning a bunch of universes and different size classes, and like model kits and Bionicle build things and so on and so forth. And that new Action Edition Prime. Oh, it looks so nice. But you can check them out. They will be linked in the description down below. Thank you very much, Blokees, for sending these my way. Now back to the actual toy. So from Galaxy Defender Wave 1 to 3, which is the small little ones, you got small vehicles for the Constructicons. And for being this small, they're pretty well detailed, looking like very neat desk vehicles. If you're just into construction Hot Wheels sized guys, I think they kind of work. I like them. My favorite though has to be Mixmaster, which is funny because my favorite toy from the Hasbro one was also Mixmaster. I think I like Mixmaster now. But once you collect all the Constructicons, you can buy this kit here and make a whole new type of toy. Combining time. So, oh, and I dropped that on the floor. Devastator combining. Because, you know, it does do that. You get this little card with a QR code. I have no idea what the QR code does. I assume it takes you to their website. You can scan it if you want. So the instructions here, it's a roadmap style instruction thing, but it's pretty cohesive on how to put everything together. I think these are really, really good instructions. They're full color, which is nice. And they have words. So like, these are really helpful. We're gonna do that. So you get the Constructicons, right? And you get them all from the different little like boxes. But then here are all of the bits for Devastator. So you get an entire waist piece. You get 4 arms, chest plate, gun, a couple of hinges and connector pieces, the head and the extra face. So the one that's the most involved is Long Haul, and he's also the one that broke on me. So when they initially emailed me saying, hey, we want to send you the Devastator bits, I was like, great, that's awesome because my Long Haul's broken. So I'll show you how I broke it. You got to be very careful when removing this top section, because on my previous Long Haul, which is gone now because it was broken, this snapped off immediately, this middle peg. So you're gonna have to be a little bit careful. You might want to sand this down just a tiny bit. I might do that honestly, but yeah, you take the roof off, then you detach this, then you want to take this piece and plug it back into the back right there. And then this guy, you want to remove the wheels, take them off, there we go. And then the wheels will go onto this, on the hips on either side. So that's the crotch piece now actually completed. And here we have these two components. Next, we're going to take hook, and you want to take this and just plug it in to the top there. We're going to rotate this back. The instructions say rotate it forward, I believe. Yeah, they want you to fold it forward, but I much prefer it at the back. You can also just take it off if you don't want the crane arm there. But once you have that put together, you take these little like hook ball joint pieces and just, well, you attach them to hook. So you clip them into either side. They do plug in and then snap into place, so they're not gonna come off. Now you want to take this back piece right here and you want to take this off. I forgot to do that. This has to come off and this goes nowhere. That's a little unfortunate, but I'll get to that in a second. This then plugs into the back here to hold the entire torso together. And then just for an added bit of security, this chest plate will come in and clip to both of these. That's your torso. That is a very strong torso. Then you take the head and you just plug it into the middle of hook. And there you have that. We will take the crotch section, plug it into there, and that's Devastator's frame. Now adding the rest of the Constructicons is super duper easy. So we'll take Bone Crusher and we'll plug him in, and then we will take the arm and plug it in under here. It will clip into place. Same with, no, it's not Mixmaster. Same with Scavenger. Plug him in, get the arm into place, click it in, and there you have those together. I'm just gonna fold that up. This arm is a little bit loose. I do need to tighten that, but there's that. And then Scrapper, you fold up this forward, and then you bring the heels down, and they will soft click into place, and that unlocks the ankle tilt. And then you just plug him in to here. Again, he will click into place. Mixmaster, you want to take him apart and then plug that in here. Then remove the wheels, and these go nowhere. They sit off to the side. And then you plug that into there. Plug that into, there we go. And there's Devastator, all combined together in his small glory. However, I do wish these had places to go. They don't. You could probably like plug this in here and then store it that way if you don't care about how stupid that looks. But yeah, I can't figure out a way to put any of these anywhere else, which is annoying. What I do is I just take the box and I chuck all the extra bits in the box. And get the instructions in there, and I just keep the box. I usually get rid of my Blokees packaging because I don't really need to keep it, but like I will be keeping this because the parts for me bits are gonna stay in there. But that's still cool. I like doing this back and forth because I really like these little vehicles. I think the vehicles are like the best part of the Galaxy Defender series. And here he is, Devastator. I love that they did this, and I'm so excited for Volcanicus and Bruticus. This is great. I like all the tampograph details all throughout with the bits of cell shading on the windows. It looks like stickers, but it's not. I think it's like pad printing or something. I don't know. The point is it looks kind of neat. I like how the chest plate kind of folds forward a bit to not get in the way of the pseudo butterfly-esque movement he has in the shoulders, especially when the arms are coming across while sticking out forward. He comes with a gun so he can shoot any Autobot or maybe himself in the foot accidentally. I don't know. Head sculpt is great. I like the angry expression and how like robust it looks all the way around. And you do get a neutral face if you want, but I like the expression more. And he's pretty clean. Yeah, long haul is just hanging out the back there as per usual, but because this is so small, it's able to sit pretty flush. And because it parts forms, you can like smoosh it in as far as they want it to go. His posing is pretty okay, but there are a couple areas that I'm like, eh. So Galvatron? Why was I gonna say Galvatron? I haven't talked about a Galvatron in a while. What the fuck? Mixmasters are taking, no, that's still not Mixmaster. Oh my God. I actually took like a 5 minute, not 5 minute, like a 30-second break after saying Galvatron to just like refresh my brain, and immediately said Mixmaster. Devastator, there we go. His articulation is okay. It's really good in the upper body and then kind of struggles a little bit in the lower body. Plus there's a couple of loose joint things I need to fix, and then like the hip skirt's weird. It's strange. And I think it's just strange because it is a bunch of these little things combining together. And it's just like, that's kind of hard to do at this scale. So just like the big boy, it's a little bit weird. So to start with, the head has really nice ball joint. Not as much tilt as I'd like, but a very nice up and down. And then you have full rotation there. The shoulders, they are on ball joints. They can do a full 360. They can go out, but like at different levels. This one arm can go out just a tiny bit more than this one because it bumps into this. You do have a faux butterfly joint because of the range on the ball joint. This shoulder is a little bit loose, a little bit too loose for my liking, especially with the gun in its hand. You do have a bicep rotation, 90-degree bend at the elbow, and the wrists are on ball joints. So you can get all the sort of wiggle you want out of it and rotation. He does have a waist joint, but it does stop there and there. And that's just because the bucket bumps into the wheels. So it's just like the big guy. You only get a little bit of Devastator waist rotation before it just starts coming off. The hip skirt, I don't like this. It's one piece. And it's because, like, look here, I'll take it apart because I can take it apart and show you. It's a big T-bar like that goes straight into here. I kind of wish it did like the Gundam thing where it was two little ball joints that were connected. You could then snip it in half and then shove both of them in here so you could get individual hip skirt movement. I hope they do that with Bruticus and with Volcanicus. I pulled the vehicles in, but you couldn't actually see them. There they are. Because, like, you move one leg forward, the whole hip skirt goes up, and I'm just not a fan of how that looks. There is no drop down hips. The hips can go forward that far. They can go back that far. He can do a full split. There's no thigh rotation. And that's another thing I wish this had, is I wish it had a thigh swivel, because you can get a little bit of play in the ball joint, but not a lot. You do have a little bit over 90 degrees of bend at the knee and a below the knee swivel. So it does this, you know, like I have this down here actually. Metal Cardbot, bringing it back in. Remember how I said I didn't like that? Yeah, it's present here too, and I'm not a huge fan of this. I don't like that. I wish there was a cut up here, and there's no space to put a cut up here. And looking at that like reveal photo of the new hot rod that they've got coming out, it has a thigh swivel. So like I'm kind of hoping that Bruticus and Volcanicus have thigh swivels to remedy this, because there's enough space. They could do it. And then both ankles have tilt and rotation. So you have rotation and tilt. and they both tilt at the same spot. I know it tilting in different spots on the big one. The Hasbro version kind of upset some people, but like, there you go. It does that. But yeah, his posing in the lower body is okay. I wish it had a thigh swivel. I wish this was done better, and like the waist joint's a little bit limited. Otherwise, I like this thing. Now, Blokees did also send over the entirety of Wave 4, so let's quickly go over those before coming to my conclusion. That's how you say that word. This wave comes with a bunch, and I think it has to be my favorite Galaxy Defender wave so far. I think the vehicles are the highlight for me personally. You get Wheeljack, Rodimus, Brawl, Grimlock, and Starscream, the weakest. But the vehicles actually have cool gimmicks this time. Other than Starscream, who just sits there looking gray. Wheeljack's hood opens, Grimlock can articulate all the things you'd want him to articulate, Brawl can rotate his turret, move the cannon up and down, and can do the same for the other two at the back, and they move independently. And Rodimus, my favorite Galaxy Defender anything, I think, can open his trailer and deploy his gun. I think that's so cool. These win the box for me. Not to say the robots are bad, far from it, but I just think the vehicles elevate it to the next level. The robots though, Shockwave, Rodimus, Rumble, Megatron, Blitzwing, Hound, and Scourge, who are off screen, there we go. Shockwave, Scourge, Hound, and Rodimus, they're cool. I like these guys, but like the others are so much better. Who would have thought we'd get a Shattered Glass Megatron like this that looks so good and is based off the Siege toy, but it works. This is so cool. Rumble Frenzy, the blue one, I don't care. Call which one, whatever you want. Can use the pile drivers and they actually work. They are springy because there's like a clip that goes into a cone and it works so well. And Blitzwing, I think, is my favorite of the Galaxy Defender robots, like out of all of the ones they've released. I just think this looks perfect. They all share articulation, so like they're all the same standard joints you'd get between all the Galaxy Defenders, but Scourge's head is really limiting in the neck because of his collar, and Shockwave's arm can be a little bit hindered in certain spots because of that cable. The cable's just a little too rigid, but this is a really neat set, and like I said, I think this is the best wave they've put out of these smaller guys. Now back to my recommendations. I think both of these sets, Devastator and Defender Wave 4, are worth getting, but Devastator is a hard one because you have to get lucky and pull Constructicons if you want to buy the individual boxes. If you get a whole set, then that's easy, but you have to buy 3 whole waves of figures to complete him, and then what are you going to do with the figures you don't want? You could sell them or trade them. I have friends, my local shop takes them, like they love Blokees, so the ones that I get duplicates of or whatever, I will give to them. He is a bit more difficult to get, and Brawl and Volcanicus are going to be the same way. He still looks really cool, and I can't wait to add more Blokees combiners to my shelf, and if you are lucky or you just want to buy the whole sets, then I definitely recommend it. But that's my look at Blokees Devastator and Blokees Defender Wave 4. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.